What's up, Starcraft fans? You are watching a co-op mutation. I am CTG, and we are doing Resilient Rifts on Rifts to Core Hall. I am playing this time as Artanis. My masteries are Guardian Shell, Speed Increases, and Current Boost Efficiency. My ally, Ankalagan, is playing as Swan. So while waiting for the loading screen, a huge thank you to Neon Metal and Shadow Archon, who are supporting me in the Pulse Cannon tier, and thank you to all my supporters on Patreon. Okay, so apparently my audio recording got botched when I did this, so I'll just do it from a replay. We had 2 Mutators this game. Let me see if I can speed it up. Void Rifts and Just Die. Void Rifts spawn every 90 seconds, starting at 2 minutes and 20 seconds. And each Void Rift spawns enemies continuously until they're destroyed. And Just Die spawns, or makes enemies revive upon death. So what I did there is check that the enemy is Terran. How do I know it's Terran? If there's no creep here, it's not Zerg. And if there are doodads here, it's Protoss. So by process of elimination, we figured out it was Terran. So I start a gateway at 15 supply, or wipe gate rather. So my role early on in this game will be to destroy the first Void Rifts. That's what Artanis is for. With the Zealots, I'll have a bank of minerals later on. And gas is my primary constraint here. I'll be going for Tempest and going to try and snipe off the Void Shards from the sides, from the edges of the map. Ally did a little scouting. So from here we were able to determine that the enemy is Terran. Yeah, from there my ally was able to scout, but apparently I can't click on this to determine what the enemy race actually is, what the enemy composition actually is. I know it's Terran, but I don't know which variant of Terran. Or I guess I forgot. I did this earlier, but I forgot now. Anyway, I warped in a Zealot. Try and get vision at the corners. Let's see how that works out for us. I also have started a Pylon here, so that I can move the power field away from my gateway. Sent some workers there to start harvesting the gas. Okay, I sent another Zealot down south to my allies expansion. Alright, I use Orbital Strike to burst this down very quickly. The faster we burst down the Void Shards, or the Void Rifts rather, the fewer enemies will spawn. If we burst them down fast enough, they will not be able to spawn any enemies at all. So there we go, I warp in another Zealot. Now the Void Rifts in the live version of the game, or in the live version of the mutation, works a little differently. They spawn enemies a little faster, so that we have less time to actually destroy the Void Rifts before they start spawning stuff, but the enemies they spawn are weaker, so it kind of balances out. Of course, it's slightly more forgiving to this kind of opener, where I had to use Zealots to burst down the second one. But still, it didn't really make that much of a difference. I was able to burst down the first one quickly. The second one didn't get to survive very long, just spawned a single set of units. And it was able to spawn them anyway. So yeah, same deal. Alright, second one is here. I'm gonna use my Zealots to destroy those. Warp in a couple more Zealots. I'll just focus this down while my ally uses the laser drill to burst down this roach. My ally, on the other hand, has a couple blaster abilities here that were able to take out the other Void Rift. Hope you saw those. So I have the production tab here that will allow you to see what me and my ally, or what my ally and I are researching or producing. So I start a Stargate. Again, I will need that to produce my Tempests. Okay, I warped in a Zealot here, so I can use that to give vision for the Solar Bombardment, which I will use, I hope, on top of the enemy wave. I warped in a couple of simulators over there, and I use the Zealot to give vision for my Solar Bombardment. I drop it right there. Okay, the enemy's Reaper Liberator, which is not ideal. Okay, so I'll have to run my Zealots across, just suicide them across, and try to pick off at least one of the Void Rifts. My ally looks like will be trying to go for the other Void Rift with his Ares, which I think he will be successful doing. Good. Alright, on the other hand, I am going to kind of focus down this single Void Rift with all my forces, really. I just kind of destroy these dudes. Ally is holding here with his Flaying Betties. Pretty good. Splash damage is quite useful, even against Reaper Liberator. Start a Forge and a Fleet Bacon. Fleet Bacon. Anyway, the Fleet Bacon is to allow me to produce Tempests, while the Forge will allow me to produce cannons for defense. I will have a mineral bank later on, so I might as well use that for defending my own base against stray stuff that spawn from Void Rifts. As well as, you know, warping in zealots like this, like what I'm doing here. Okay. Yeah, I'm a bit on the fence about whether to use Orbital Strike. But I do finish it off. My ally also was able to finish off his own Void Rift. So yeah, I'd say we're pretty 1-to-1 with my ally. I had one more. Look at my ally though. He warped in, or he fast traveled his Hercules here to allow his 2 SCVs to build blaster abilities to help him burst down the Void Rifts that spawn in this location. This is pretty brilliant on his part. On my end, I'm still macroing up. I'm researching disintegration for my Tempests. I just micro that little Zelt out of the way, so I can still continuously do damage to the Void Shard. Here's an 8-minute wave. My ally is researching the Pulse Cannon, but he does have the Concentrated Beam ready for that wave. Yeah, the fact that he's researching Pulse Cannon indicates that he is ready with Concentrated Beam. Okay, he just used it. Right there. And that does take out the first life. Okay, I was able to finish that off. Or that Void Red off. Alright. The Blaster Billy is still going to destroy this one Void Rift here, and it's now defending against the enemies that spawn from the Void Rift. So now my ally will try to defend this area. The good news is that the blaster abilities are pretty good. Also, I used Shield Overcharge and Orbital Strike to burst down those things. And now my reinforcements are on the way to help out my ally. Alright, I'm still working on saturating my expansion. It looks like that will complete right about now. Now I burst down this one Void Rift. And just in time for the next set of rifts to spawn. Okay. I warp in a Tempest here to help out. Dealing damage to that. Ally on the other hand warps in his Hercules here to drop the Ares. Really good at bursting down the Void Shards. Solar Bombardment is ready once again, so I run my Zealots in to get vision here and drop the Solar Bombardment to finish off what's left of those units right there. Because remember, I used my first Solar Bombardment there as well, and it looks like it was enough. The second Solar Bombardment was enough to finish it off. Alright, ally on the other hand is using the Laser Drill via the Hercules' vision to burst down, or to, I guess, DPS down the Void Shard remaining. I'm also upgrading the level 2 ship upgrades at the same time. Okay, that was a good spawn for me. That one spawned right where I am. Okay, that other one is in Blaster Billy range, so that's pretty good. Alright. Ally is taking care of this other Void Rift, but I finish it off. Down it goes. So I'm at the type 5 Tempests so far. Okay, I think my ally used Pulse Cannon on the attack wave. I don't see it anymore. We probably finish it off. Pretty good. Okay, I just move my Tempests in here. Okay, I don't like that ghost. Oh, that was worth it. That was totally worth it. And I used the rest of Orbital Strikes to finish off that, well, burst down those other units there, such as that Science Vessel. Alright. So I clear out this area, so I have more open area for the Void Rifts to spawn in the middle. The more open area in the middle, the higher the likelihood that, as you can see, that the Void Rifts will spawn in very easily attackable locations. And you can see my ally is right on top of that. On this one as well. And the one that spawned here, ally is right on top of those. Meanwhile, my Tempests are moving in. I start the 3rd level upgrade for the Tempest attack. Ooh, my ally is trying to help out with repairing my Tempest, which is okay, I guess. It's pretty nice. Alright, he was able to also build a couple spinning dizzies here to burst down this other void shard. It's pretty brilliant of him. Again, that is via a Hercules, that fast travel that teleported to behind the shard. Okay, burst down this Thor. It's down. I warp in more Tempests. Just burst it down. And by that I mean the shard. Alright. You can see my ally has these completely except for this one. But my ally will burst that down with his laser drill. But for the rest, his static defense took care of all the stuff heading toward it. I micro this Tempest out of the way, so I wouldn't splash the rest of my Tempests. Trying to burst down this little. Okay, that was that little Tempest a little too clumped up with the others. It's really tricky to just click the right Tempest. Okay. So I notice I'm still floating resources, which is why I start a 3rd Stargate. Anyway, my upgrades will complete, so I will have resources for it. Okay. So I have the Soul Bombardment ready. I just need a target. So instead of going for this shard, which is basically dead, I instead try to well, first of all, I burst down the Thor. It will revive, but I use the rest of my orbital strikes to finish it off. Okay, as you can see, most of the rifts once again are within my ally's range except this one. Yeah, this one is in my cannon range this time. I warp in a couple of. Okay, I use a Phoenix here, but yeah, it kind of falls before I was able to drop a Soul Bombardment. That's fine. I can just warp another one. I just fly in right here, and then drop a Soul Bombardment. That will soften up their defenses considerably, and allow me to enter their base a lot easier. Okay. I use disintegration to slowly burst these down, or slowly DPS them down, I guess. Alright. I'm up to 14 Tempests, I believe. Oh, it just went up to a lot more. How many more? Yeah, I'm up to 18 Tempests now. I move in. And more Void Rifts. These ones are out of my... Ooh. The enemy just took out my ally's expansion, but I don't think he needs it anymore. I think he's... Yeah, I think he has plenty of resources for whatever this is. And then back to my view. I've just burst down another Void Shard, and then pushing towards the remaining ones. The Tempests are pretty effective at slowly picking off the enemy piece by piece until there are none of them remaining. Of course, the keyword is slowly. Ally has to drop in his Ares to help me burst down the enemies. Okay. The funky thing with Just Die is that the enemies also recharge their full abilities, which you saw that Battlecruiser just used the Yamato on my Tempest, and when I killed it, it just regained another charge of the Yamato. And I used the shield overcharge to help protect my Tempests. And you can see a Void Rift spawned right where my Tempests were, so I just sniped it off. You can see I'm using disintegration to burst down, or to I guess slowly DPS down those battlecruisers. Finishing them off. There it goes. Okay, I lost the Tempest right there. But I do have a lot more remaining. Splash damage is really irritating here. But still, that's not quite enough to burst down my fleet of Tempests. which are quite tanky. They can actually burst down the remainder of the Void Shards. As you can see, there's only one remaining here. Yeah, only 9 out of 10 destroyed.
Our allied base is under attack.
Okay.
Allied forces are under attack.
So I believe I'm up to 20 Tempests. Yeah, 20 Tempests. And with that, I just right-click on the shard, finish it off. GG. Pretty straightforward. Swan defends and snipes off a lot of Void Rifts. And our Tempest finishes off the Void Shards. Alright, hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for watching. If you have an idea for what else to do, please leave that in a comment. And as you can see, the score screen. Wait, this is not the right one. Hold on. Okay, there we go. The correct score screen. So my ally had slightly more kills than I did. I think he had about 25 more kills, which is pretty good considering this is 247 total. Well, yeah, he had slightly more kills, but I had way more shard damage, which is pretty good for a Tannis. Alright, see you.